This channel is proudly partnered with the What the Funk shop. Please check out their store for all sorts of products. They have miniatures, dice, Game Master screens, home decorations, and many other things. You will find the link in the description and in the pinned comment. And make sure that you use my code for a special discount. They currently have a Halloween sale going. This channel is proudly sponsored by Dead Tree Studios, the publishers and developers of Dames of Asstoria, a tabletop RPG where you play as monster girls, experiencing high adventure in a world that doesn't fully accept them. They have recently released the Whispers of Copperich adventure module. You will find the links in the description and in the pinned comment. Hi, welcome to part 1 of my review featuring Blister Critters. This tabletop RPG represents a Saturday morning cartoon type of situation, in the style of Ed, Edd and Eddy, or even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You play as critters that have been modified. The radioactive sun that occurred after a particular cataclysm is constantly showering the earth and these animals, causing them to develop blisters that give them unusual powers. Humans are long gone. There hasn't been a single human in sight for 20 years. Now let's talk about the quality of the PDF. My first criticism: it has no bookmarks and no hyperlinks, so it's not going to be easy to navigate this 96 pages document. Apart from that, everything else is great. The writing, the organization is good. The graphic design, the layout, the illustrations, they are incredible. It is in the 90s style cartoon aesthetics. You will find many references to that decade. And the glowy expression of the illustrations, because they use yellow and these sort of whitish, purplish undertones and highlights, it almost feels as if they are hurting your eyes. The illustrations are so bright, so vibrant, and I think it's perfect because this document should be expressing or communicating a radioactive setting. So the art is brilliant, no pun intended. So the quality in general is good, but hyperlinks or bookmarks are definitely needed. Now let's talk about the contents. First, you have an interesting preface from the creator, mentioning the sources of inspiration for this tabletop RPG. But then we have a pretty bad example of roleplay, of actually roleplaying this tabletop RPG. There is constantly out of character, questions. What can I see? Can I see this? Don't ask the Game Master questions, just roleplay. If you want to see inside of a box, don't ask the Game Master, is there something inside of the box? Rather, roleplay. I look inside of the box. I take a look inside of the box. I take a peek inside of the box. Anything, just take action. This is going to destroy the wacky hijinks immersion if you are constantly having those out of character moments, because the game master and the players do not exist in the fiction. Imagine how lame if there were to be a Saturday morning cartoon and the main character or characters were constantly asking, what do I see? Can I attempt this? Can I do that? Why don't they simply do it? Why don't they simply attempt it? So it's a terrible roleplay example. Following that, you have an explanation on what this game actually is. Blister Critters is a tabletop role-playing game in which the players are small animals on a Saturday morning cartoon called Blister Critters. Critters are the characters. These critters travel in groups or packs, and the game master here is called either the producer or the game manager. As you play and find cool stuff, you'll eventually gain levels and develop blisters from the radioactive sun. Blisters give your critter awesome powers that help you battle beasts, navigate the world, and generally be a badass mutant animal. Beasts are a lot like the animals you play as, but larger and covered in blisters, often wickedly mutated, and inherently dangerous. In the world after humans, all their stuff is just laying around for the taking. They disappeared after a cataclysm known as the Poof, which is quite mysterious. In the style of Saturday morning cartoons, each session of Blister Critters is called an episode, and a string of connected episodes, typically called an arc or campaign in other games, is here called a season, complete with commercial cutaways, end credits, and cartoony powers for all to enjoy. Now you have optional rules throughout the book, called the Zany mode and the Gnarly mode. The Zany mode is basically making your game more cartoony, while the gnarly mode is there for a grittier game. You can use elements for both modes and combine them. After all, there are many cartoon shows that are quite funny but also quite bleak. Then you have an explanation on tabletop role-playing games in general. And while there are some good concepts here, there are some others that are not so much. For example, they mention storytelling or telling a story here. As I have mentioned many times in my videos, that is actually one of my famous RPG sayings. In tabletop RPGs, you are not telling stories about your characters, you are experiencing the game world as your characters. You can tell a story about the session later on, but during the session, you are not telling a story. You are not saying, Bob the rat went into the house, and then got into the hole, and then went up the stairs, and then opened this small box, and he found... No. The Game Master presents a situation. You are now standing in front of a ruined building. And then the player character. I move around the building looking for an entrance. And then the Game Master. The front wooden door is locked, but you can see a large hole on the side of the building. It is about 5 feet in diameter. And then you proceed. Maybe you need to roll dice, maybe you need to take some other action. You are interacting with the game world, you are not telling a story about the game world, you are taking action within that world. You don't know what is going to happen, the Game Master doesn't know what the player character is going to attempt in various situations, and the player character is constantly going to be surprised by what the Game Master has in store. This concludes this part of the review. In the next part we are going to talk about the rules. This is a very gnarly game. I really love the design, I like the concept, and I can't wait to tell you about the rest of it. Thank you for watching this part of the review. Don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member and enjoying exclusive tabletop RPG tips. You can also use the super thanks button. You can also check out the pinned comment below. This has been Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. I am currently unavailable for professional sessions, but I will put my contact information in the description and in the pinned comment for when I am available again. And remember, in tabletop RPGs, you are not having a conversation about your characters. You are experiencing the game world as your characters. Once again, thank you and see you later.